Emily Bennett stared at the digital clock on her nightstand, its numbers glowing ominously in the dark like a cryptic countdown. 2:57 a.m. Another night, another battle lost to insomnia. She sighed and turned onto her back, her eyes tracing the familiar cracks in the ceiling of her small apartment. Sleep had become an elusive companion, slipping through her fingers like sand, leaving her restless and weary. Her doctor suggested meditation. Her friends recommended herbal teas and meditation apps, but nothing seemed to work. Desiring a change of scenery, Emily booked a weekend stay at Lunar Haven, a guesthouse famed for its unique ability to induce restful sleep. The secret, as the rumor went, was the moonlight that filtered through its windows, said to wrap visitors in a comforting embrace, guiding them gently into slumber. Nestled on the outskirts of a quaint village, Lunar Haven looked like something out of a fairy tale. Its stone facade was covered in ivy, and the gardens surrounding it were a tapestry of wildflowers swaying gently in the breeze. As Emily approached the guest house, she felt a sense of calm wash over her, a stark contrast to the ever-present anxiety that usually accompanied her. Inside, the guest house was cozy and inviting. The air was filled with the aroma of lavender and chamomile. Emily was greeted by Mrs. Whitmore, the proprietor, whose warm smile and twinkling eyes exuded a grandmotherly charm. "Welcome to Lunar Haven, dear," Mrs. Whitmore said, handing Emily an old-fashioned key. "Room 7 just up the stairs. I hope the moonlight will be kind to you." Emily nodded, intrigued by the prospect of such a simple remedy. She climbed the creaking staircase, the wood whispering secrets of the past beneath her feet. Her room was quaint, decorated with antique furniture and soft pastel colors. A large window dominated one wall, its curtain drawn back to reveal the full moon hanging in the sky like a silver medallion. As the evening deepened, Emily felt a sense of anticipation. She lay in bed, the moonlight spilling over her like a gentle waterfall, its cool glow soothing her senses. The room seemed to breathe in harmony with her, the shadows dancing softly, as if to a lullaby only they could hear. Emily closed her eyes, expecting the familiar restlessness to creep in. Instead, she felt herself drifting, the moonlight cradling her in serenity. It was a sensation she hadn't experienced in years. The tender touch of sleep, real and profound. She dreamt of a meadow, bathed in moonlight, where the stars whispered stories of old. She wandered through the dream, unburdened by time or worry, until the first light of dawn nudged her awake. She opened her eyes, feeling refreshed and hopeful. Over breakfast, Emily joined other guests in the dining room, a sunlit space filled with laughter and the clinking of cutlery. She listened to their stories, each one echoing her own experience of sleepless nights and the moonlight's magic. "There's something otherworldly about this place," said Daniel, a writer who had been a regular visitor. "It's like the moonlight has a life of its own." Emily nodded, intrigued. "Do you think it's just the moonlight, or is there more to it?" Mrs. Whitmore, overhearing their conversation, approached with a knowing smile. "Ah, the moonlight is the star, but there's a symphony of elements at play. The gardens, the air, the very walls of this house. They all sing in harmony." Emily pondered this, her curiosity piqued. She decided to explore the grounds, seeking to uncover the secrets of Lunar Haven. The gardens were enchanting, a labyrinth of blooms and foliage. As Emily wandered, She noticed how the plants seemed to reach towards the sky, as if drawn by the moon's allure. She paused by a small pond, its surface shimmering with reflected light. A gentle rustle caught her attention, and she turned to see an elderly gardener tending to the flowers. He wore a wide-brimmed hat, his hands deftly pruning and nurturing. "Hello," Emily greeted, stepping closer. "This place is beautiful." The gardener looked up, his eyes crinkling in a smile. "It's tended with love. The moonlight helps, of course." "Do you believe it has special properties?" Emily asked, intrigued by his response. "Oh, indeed," he replied, his voice as soft as the breeze. "The moonlight here is a gentle guardian. It listens, it heals, but it's the love we put into this place that makes it sing." Emily thanked him and continued her exploration, pondering his words. The idea that care and intention could transform a space resonated with her deeply. That evening, Emily returned to her room with a sense of anticipation. As the moon rose, she settled into bed, allowing its light to envelop her. Her thoughts drifted, weaving through memories and dreams. She found herself back in the meadow of her dreams, only this time, the figures of her past emerged. Loved ones she missed, moments she cherished. They were vivid and real, their presence a balm to her soul. In the dream, she spoke with her grandmother, who had passed away years earlier. Her grandmother's voice was as Emily remembered, gentle, wise. "Why is this place so special?" Emily asked, her dream self aware of the magic. "Because it's a place of hope," her grandmother replied. "A place where what is broken can be mended, where light fills the cracks." Emily saw herself reflected in her grandmother's eyes, a vision of herself at peace. She realized that the moonlight was not just a phenomenon of nature, but a symbol of renewal and healing. Awakening the following morning, Emily felt a profound sense of clarity. The moonlight had not only granted her rest, but had illuminated the path to healing. She joined the other guests for breakfast, her heart light with the newfound understanding. As they shared stories, Emily realized that each of them had brought their own burdens, their own desires for peace. The moonlight had woven them together, creating a tapestry of shared experiences and hope. Emily spent the day connecting with her newfound friends, exploring the village, and basking in the warmth of companionship. She understood that Lunar Haven was more than just a place. It was a community, a haven of belonging. On the second day of her stay, after a leisurely breakfast filled with laughter and shared anecdotes, Emily decided to explore the guesthouse more thoroughly. As she meandered through the corridors, she stumbled upon a small door at the end of a narrow hallway. It was slightly ajar, and a warm golden light spilled out from within. Curiosity piqued, she pushed the door open. Inside, she discovered a hidden library, its shelves lined with books of all sizes and topics. The scent of aged paper and leather filled the air, and the soft glow from an antique lamp bathed the room in a cozy light. A plush armchair sat invitingly in the corner, and a small table was covered with a collection of well-loved novels and journals. Emily stepped inside, her heart racing with excitement. She ran her fingers along the spines of the books, feeling a sense of connection to the stories within them. She pulled out a book titled Whispers of the Moon, its cover adorned with delicate silver patterns. As she flipped through the pages, she found entries detailing the legends and lore surrounding the moon and its influence on human emotions. One passage particularly caught her eye. The moonlight has the power to awaken forgotten dreams and heal unseen wounds, It is a guide for those who seek solace, revealing the path to inner peace. Emily sat down in the armchair, enveloped by the stillness of the library. She began to read, losing herself in the words that spoke to her heart. The tales of those who had come before her resonated deeply, echoing her own struggles and aspirations. That evening, as the guests gathered for dinner, Emily couldn't contain her excitement about the library. She shared her discovery with Daniel and the others, who expressed their own curiosity about the hidden place. "Let's have a storytelling night," Daniel suggested, his eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. "We could share our stories and the ones we find in those books. It could be a way for us to connect even more." The idea met with immediate agreement, and the group began to plan for the gathering. They decided to meet in the library, surrounded by the stories of others, and share their experiences under the watchful gaze of the moon. As the sun set and the moon rose, casting its silvery light into the library, the guests settled into their chairs, a sense of camaraderie filling the air. Emily felt a thrill of anticipation as they began to take turns sharing their stories, each one woven with vulnerability and hope. Daniel spoke of his struggles as a writer, the fear of inadequacy that often kept him awake at night. He shared how the moonlight had inspired him to find his voice again, to take risks, and embrace creativity. Another guest, Sarah, shared her journey through loss and grief, how the moon had been a constant presence in her life, guiding her through the darkest nights. "It was during those sleepless nights that I found strength," she said, her voice trembling yet resolute. "The moon reminded me that I was not alone." As stories unfolded, Emily felt the weight of her own struggles lift. She realized that these moments of vulnerability were powerful, creating a tapestry of connection that transcended their individual experiences. As the night wore on, Emily found herself mesmerized by the stories being shared. Each guest brought their own unique perspective, painting a vivid picture of their lives. There was laughter, tears, and a sense of understanding that enveloped all of them. When it was Emily's turn, she took a deep breath, her heart racing. "I've been battling insomnia for years," she began, her voice steady yet filled with emotion. "I came here hoping to find peace, to escape the noise on my mind, but what I've discovered is so much more. It's the connection with all of you, the shared stories, and the understanding that we are all navigating our own journeys." As she spoke, she felt the warmth of support from her fellow guests. Their eyes filled with empathy. She shared her dreams of becoming a writer, her fears of inadequacy, and the moments of doubt that often kept her awake at night. When she finished, a profound silence fell over the room, followed by a soft round of applause. Emily felt a wave of gratitude wash over her, knowing that her story had resonated with others. As the evening deepened, they continued to share stories, laughter, and reflections, drawing strength from one another. Emily realized that their collective experiences, woven together by the moonlight, created a powerful bond that transcended their individual struggles. At the end of the night, Mrs. Whitmore joined them, her eyes twinkling with warmth. "You've all created something beautiful tonight," she said, her voice filled with pride. "The magic of the moonlight lies not just in its glow, but in the connections we forge under its watchful gaze. It brings us together, helps us heal, and reminds us of the power of shared stories." As the guests prepared to retire for the night, Emily felt a sense of belonging that she hadn't experienced in a long time. She returned to her room, the moonlight spilling through the window, wrapping her in its embrace. The following day, Emily awoke with a renewed sense of purpose. She decided to take a walk in the gardens, her mind buzzing with inspiration from the previous night's gathering. As she strolled amidst the vibrant flowers, she felt a surge of creativity coursing through her veins. Under the shade of a large oak tree, she pulled out her journal and began to write. The words flowed effortlessly, capturing the essence of her experience at Lunar Haven, the connections she had forged, and the healing power of the moonlight. With every stroke of her pen, she felt a sense of liberation. The stories of her fellow guests had ignited a spark within her, and she knew that she wanted to share her own journey through writing. After hours spent lost in her thoughts, she returned to the guesthouse, her heart full and her spirit light. She shared her newfound enthusiasm with the other guests, who encouraged her to pursue her passion. As Emily's weekend at Lunar Haven came to a close, she felt a bittersweet twinge in her heart. The moon hung high in the sky, casting its gentle light over the guesthouse, as if bidding farewell to its visitors. On her last night, the guests gathered once more in the library, this time to celebrate their shared journey. Daniel had prepared a small reading, showcasing excerpts from their stories, and each guest took turns sharing their reflections on their time at Lunar Haven. Emily stood at the front of the room, her heart pounding with excitement. I want to thank you all for being a part of this incredible experience, she said, her voice steady. You have inspired me to embrace my dreams and pursue my passion for writing. I'm leaving here not just with memories, but with a sense of purpose. The room erupted in applause, and Emily felt a rush of warmth and encouragement. They spent the rest of the day sharing laughter and dreams, basking in the glow of camaraderie. As the clock struck midnight, they stepped outside to witness the full moon shining brightly above them. Mrs. Whitmore joined them, her presence a comforting reminder of the magic of Lunar Haven. Remember, the moonlight will always be with you, she said softly, her eyes glistening. Carry its light in your hearts and let it guide you on your journeys. The next morning, Emily packed her belongings, feeling a mixture of sadness and excitement. As she stood by the window of her room one last time, gazing at the moon poised in the sky, she felt a profound sense of gratitude for the experience she had shared. Mrs. Whitmore appeared at her door, her smile as comforting as ever. You found what you needed here, haven't you? Emily nodded, her heart full of gratitude. Yes, I have. Thank you for everything. With a final embrace, Emily bid farewell to Lunar Haven, her spirit light and hopeful. As she drove away, she carried with her the essence of the place, a room full of moonlight, a heart full of peace, and a newfound passion for writing. Back in her apartment, Emily found herself transformed. The insomnia that had plagued her seemed distant, a shadow dispelled by the moon's gentle glow. She had discovered the power of connection, the healing of shared moments, and the courage to pursue her dreams. In the quiet of her room, she lit a candle, its flame a small echo of the moon's light. She closed her eyes, breathing in the memory of Lunar Haven, and felt the peace settle within her. Days turned into weeks, and Emily began to write with fervor. She poured her heart onto the pages, weaving the stories of her fellow guests into her own narrative. The moonlight had awakened a creative fire within her, and she felt compelled to share her journey with the world. As the months passed, Emily found solace in her writing. She became a regular visitor to the hidden library in her mind, drawing inspiration from the connections she had made at Lunar Haven. She wrote late into the night, often with the moonlight streaming through her window, a constant reminder of the magic she had experienced. One evening, while editing her manuscript, Emily received an email from a literary agent who had expressed interest in her work. Her heart raced as she read the words, excitement bubbling within her. The stories she had woven together were finally being recognized, and she felt the thrill of possibility. As she prepared to submit her manuscript, she reflected on her journey, the sleepless nights, the search for peace, and the transformative experience at Lunar Haven. She understood that the moonlight had not only guided her path toward healing, but had also illuminated her path as a writer. Months later, Emily stood in front of a small crowd at a local bookstore, her heart pounding with anticipation. She was about to share her debut novel, a collection of stories inspired by her time at Lunar Haven and the connections she had forged. The title, Whispers of the Moon, seemed fitting, encapsulating the essence of her journey. As she read excerpts from her book, Emily felt an overwhelming sense of gratitude for the experiences that had shaped her. The moonlight had been a symbol of hope and renewal, guiding her through the darkest nights and revealing the beauty in shared stories. After her reading, she engaged with readers, sharing the inspiration behind her work. Many expressed how her stories resonated with their own struggles and dreams, creating a sense of connection that mirrored her experience at Lunar Haven. As she signed copies of her book, Emily couldn't help but reflect on how far she had come. The journey that had begun with sleepless nights had transformed into a beautiful tapestry of stories, connections, and healing. In the years that followed, Emily remained connected to the guests she had met at Lunar Haven. They formed a writing group, meeting regularly to share their works, celebrate their successes, and support one another through the challenges of the creative process. Each gathering felt like a reunion, a celebration of the moonlight that had brought them together. They often reminisced about their time at the guesthouse, the magic of the moon, and the profound impact it had on their lives. One fateful night, as Emily sat in her writing nook, she gazed out the window at the full moon shining brightly in the sky. It was a reminder of the journey she had embarked upon, and she felt a deep sense of fulfillment. With her book published and her writing flourishing, she knew that the magic of Lunar Haven had left an indelible mark on her life. The moonlight that had once guided her through sleepless nights now illuminated her path as a writer, a beacon of hope and inspiration. As she drifted into sleep that night, she felt the moonlight wrap around her once more, a tender promise of dreams yet to come, and the stories waiting to be told. In her heart, Emily understood that the journey of life would continue with its challenges, but she was no longer alone. The moonlight, the friendships, the love that filled the guest house, they lived in her now, a guiding light through the darkest nights. She had learned that the power of connection and the sharing of stories can heal even the deepest wounds. The moonlight had revealed the beauty in vulnerability and the strength found in community. As she closed her eyes, Emily felt a sense of peace wash over her, knowing that the magic of Lunar Haven would always be a part of her story, a room full of moonlight illuminating her path toward an ever-brightening future.